All right, looks like we are live. Just hitting the live button on Instagram as well. Hope everybody is having a great week. It's been a couple weeks, I think about 2 weeks since we did this last live video, but got a lot of really good feedback. Chris had actually reached out and was saying, hey, would love the opportunity to come on here and have my stuff obviously audited as well. And so for those of you that didn't watch the first video, we are doing now a new series where people are coming on. We're doing a live digital audit, website, search engine optimization, Google business profile, and really anything that people have questions on. So Chris, thanks for joining, man.
Hey, I'm really surprised that this is actually happening. It's not many times that you watch a YouTube video and you reach out to somebody and it ends up, being something that's awesome. So I really appreciate the opportunity, Adam.
Yeah, man. So tell people a little bit about yourself, your business, where you're located, all that stuff.
Absolutely. So my name is Chris Sitera. I'm the owner of Kleen SoftWash in Richmond Hill, Georgia. So we're a suburb just south of Savannah, Georgia. And we've been in business since 2023. We do pressure washing, soft washing, exterior property maintenance for residential and commercial. We're a new company. We started this year. So there's a lot to learn. It's definitely not as easy as some people may make it appear to be on social media. As far as starting a business, there's so much stuff that goes on in the back end. I'm a very technical person when it comes to being hands-on, building our equipment from scratch. And, once you're in front of customers, I can build a relationship. There's so much stuff leading up to the introduction to the customer, getting in front of them on social media, having a good Google profile, having your your web page performing well and optimized. Those are the things that I'm not familiar with enough, I feel, to have a real impact on our business. So when I saw the opportunity in your video on YouTube, when you're not roasting the person's website, you're giving really good feedback, and I'm completely open to it, which is why we reached out. But I understand that to get the business to where I want it to be and even further than that, these are the things, the uncomfortable things that I don't know and unfamiliar with. I have to start putting those in my bucket little by little, start moving the needle for us.
Yeah, well, I love it, man. We're going to dive into some incredible stuff today. If you're watching this video, I know we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Feel free to drop some questions. If you have questions for me, if you have questions for Chris, we'll get those answered. But we'll dive right in here. So I'm going to share my screen and just head over to Chris's website. And that's the first place that we will start with everything. So, Chris, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Awesome. So the first thing that I take a look at, as you kind of saw in the last video as well, is the platform in which the website is built out on. So right now it's built out on Wix. Did you build this out yourself? Walk me through kind of that process of this first website.
Okay. So like I said before, I have no idea what to do when building a website. And I lost so much sleep because I'm an overthinker, right? I'm an engineer by trade. So my brain is constantly going, trying to solve problems and figuring out the best way to do things. When I don't know, I get paralyzed, right? Yep. So when I did my LLC through LegalZoom, there was a special they were running to where you can get a Wix website, maybe a discount, or somebody that can help you build it. So I went that route. I figured having somebody do it who supposedly knows what they're doing is a lot better than me struggling and not having anything to produce in front of customers. So my goal was to look legitimate online, and have something to present and look like a real company, because we are. So I went through Wix. I got hooked up with somebody who could design it for us. What I was sent, I didn't like. So I really didn't like it. And I kind of thought to myself, okay, this is really what I paid this money for. It's something. It's more than what I could have done. And I'm not going to lie. It got me a foot in the door with a website. I've since gone and, changed some imaging. I learned about H1. I had no idea what H1 was. So I added H1 in there, and, so it is something, it does allow people to go in and do our contact me form and all that stuff. So saying that purpose, I just know that there's so much more that it isn't doing well because of the things that I don't know. So I mean, and that's where we're at, right?
That was literally a perfect explanation. I'm so glad that you went through like, hey, I got signed up with LegalZoom and I got this thing, is because so often so many people go from zero to like, I want to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on my website before they go buy the right equipment or before they go and like shake hands and boots on the ground in the personal branding strategy. And so like you miss so much in between getting started and just getting something up there. And I tell people all the time that like Wix.com is a great starter platform. It's more of like an online brochure that will validate your company, that will give people the information, that will allow them to fill out a contact form, that just has your brand online. But it's not going to be the thing that is just dominating all over, God's green earth when it comes to search engine optimization, those things like that. So
I realized this isn't going to move the needle for me, right? Like it helps me in the stage that I'm in, at the level of business that I'm at, but to continue to move the business in the right direction, I understand now after almost a year of doing this that I still have big holes in my bucket and there's a lot of water leaking out, and a really good optimized SEO website is going to help plug those holes for us.
Yep, absolutely. So I always like to tell people is like, hey, we're going to talk about a plan of attack moving forward with this site. But I always tell people that are on Wix websites is you should look in budget, whatever that looks like for your company, to upgrade to a platform like a WordPress, typically hiring somebody to obviously build it. You could also look at Duda. That's a great platform. GHL, you can build out sites on there as well. Now we typically build out on WordPress for all of our clients. It's absolutely incredible. But once you have that kind of new foundation and things like that, you're basically just upgrading your car, right? Whatever you're putting in your car, whether it's Wix or whether it's WordPress, you got to have some of the foundational things down pat, which is what we're going to talk about here right now. So think about your website as a book. Digital real estate or a book, however you want to kind of talk about it. You have the opportunity to tell Google, hey, this is the title of my book, right? And so where a lot of people have it, very similar to what you see here, is they have the name of their company or their brand, and then they'll have pressure washing Savannah, for example. So this is great. I would recommend, because you likely have already built the brand, people are already searching your stuff, is put the keyword in front, as well as also put GA, Savannah GA, with that at the front, and then put the name of your company at the end, because essentially if somebody's typing in Kleen South SoftWash, they're going to find you regardless. This gives you the opportunity to put this in front and allow for Google to also start to rank you for that.
So it kind of like preloads the search that it's going to return.
Mm-hmm. So that's
So in that, certain words hold more power in the search algorithm or whatever.
That is correct.
Depending on where they are and how you searched it, right? Is that kind of correct?
Yeah. So basically with your title this is not seen by anybody other than Google. And you have to set the record straight with Google before you go and you do all of the H1s and the title tags and all alt images and add, alt text and add new pages and things like that.
So, it just kind of made sense to me, and the light bulb went off. Google is my customer.
Yes. I tell people all the time, man. I tell people that literally all of the time, like, and I'll kind of go off on a random side tangent right now, but like I got a buddy who we built this Christmas light installation, a website for in Springfield. We're already on the first page of Google. We've already sold a couple $1,000s worth of Christmas lights. He's never even installed Christmas lights before, but we built this super simple website. I go path of least resistance. I go to appease Google. Not necessarily. I mean, you need to appease your customers with this. If you don't have your customers, it doesn't matter. But you should always look to appease Google first and then fix the dots and fill in the gap later for your customers.
So it's almost like a referral network, right? Google is the primary customer, and then Google then refers you out to your other customers.
Exactly. Yep. So with the description, if we're talking about your website as the title of a book, right? So your title of the book, we'll switch this up to pressure washing Savannah GA, then Kleen South Southwash. Then you have a description, which you need to have at 2 sentences, typically, maybe 3, but under 150 characters. Okay. So why you see warning right here is it's just a little bit too long. So you want to make sure that you include both the main keyword you talked about and your brand name. So something about your brand name is the leading provider for residential and commercial power washing in. Now, here's the gap and the difference. So you see that it's talking about Richmond Hill here and Savannah here. You're going to start to throw Google off because they're seeing mixed messaging.
Okay.
So it's like you're sending Google in these different directions. And I know your Google business profile is in Richmond Hill. So there is obviously like that aspect of it. But if you want to rank in all of Savannah, it might be more beneficial. And I'd have to do some more research and be able to give you my expert advice. But you can't have both. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So we'll take a look and I'll give you some additional tips and things like that after that. But then we get down to the headers. So as far as headers go, like you're supposed to have one H1 header, and all these SEO people will say different things. Again, success leaves clues. I typically run with one H1 header. Think about this as the title of the first chapter in your book, and you're only allowed to have one.
Okay.
And your title of your first chapter needs to be at the top. Right now, your phone number is an H4 in the first header that's on here. So essentially in Google's mind, you are sending them and you're telling them, hey, here's the title of the book. Here's my synopsis, like basically your elevator pitch, your 30-second elevator pitch. Here's why you need to do business with me and rank my site. And then they're going to go to try to read chapter 1 of your book, but you're like, hey, no, read chapter 4 first. It's way better than chapter 1.
Okay.
And then with chapter 1, one of your H1s is testimonials. And so
it's all jacked up.
Is jacked up, but one of them is also right here. So you just need to kind of go in and tweak this one. You need to turn this H1, either take it off as a header or switch up the H1 to like an H4 5. But this one particular is good. Like this is good. You just need to make sure that you take off the call us now button as an H4. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Awesome. Any other questions? Anything else as it relates to here?
Not right now.
Awesome.
Again, I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah, no, all questions are good questions. So typically how I'm looking at this, like again, whether it's on Wix or whether it's on WordPress, like Google absolutely loves content. So if I was talking with you and saying, hey, we need to redesign the website or we just need to go and build this out, I'm talking about how do we close the gap with content? And so I'm taking a look here, like you have all these awesome services, house washing, gutter cleaning, brick and mason cleaning, roof cleaning, the list goes on. You need to have an individual page that has all of those services as it relates to that, not just a pop-up.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah. And so when I watched that first video, I went in here to try and figure out how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I could not for the life of me figure out how to do that. Because I know you talk about having like each tab should have its own URL and you should be linking, that URL in the page to the next, like there's a whole process to that. I couldn't for the life of me figure it out.
So right now your website is one page. So because you don't have a lot of pages that are templated outside of your homepage, in the back end of Wix, it's not super easy or user-friendly to be able to go do that. But yes, in theory, exactly what you were trying to build out there is the right thing. I don't build out a lot in Wix, but I could probably take a look at it for you and just kind of show you. But you would essentially build out a new page or template something and then go build out all of those individual pages for that. And then because you want to rank in Savannah and probably Richmond Hill in a little bit of a radius, you want to have an individual suburb page for all of those different little cities and towns in which you want to do business in.
For each service?
So you want to have a home page, a parent page, and I'll put together kind of a content roadmap for you here right now. Let me go and put this together for you. Let me just get a Google Doc ready to go. And so basically what we're going to do here is we're going to do Kleen South SoftWash content roadmap. And so the gap here right now, and we'll take a look at the first page of Google here in a second, and I'm kind of doing this blindly, but I kind of done this a couple different times to know that this is probably the route we need to go. You have a gap with service pages as well as a gap with location pages. So then you're going to end up having a gap with service plus location pages.
Okay.
So just rattle off the top services that you offer and or would want pages for.
So I guess like siding cleaning or exterior siding.
Like
roof
pressure
cleaning
washing would be obviously a page.
Yep. Roof cleaning. Exterior window cleaning.
Gutter cleaning?
Concrete cleaning. I don't really care for doing gutters.
So you can expand on this. This is not the hey, you only do this moving forward, right?
Right.
So you'll build out basically a parent page. So on this parent page, you're going to have, it's basically your URL/services. And you're going to talk a little bit about every one of these services on that page. And then you're going to go build out just a siding page, just a pressure washing page, just a roof cleaning page, just an exterior window cleaning page, and just a concrete cleaning page. Does that make sense?
Okay. On the parent page, like the home page, I'm sure there's rules for that too, right? Like character limitations and all that type of stuff.
Yep. So everything we just talked about the homepage, you do the exact same thing on every single page on your website.
Okay.
Yep. And then rattle off. So obviously we have Savannah would be an area because really you want to rank in Richmond Hill first and dominate for all of these things first before you go out to Savannah and all those other places. So we have Savannah, and then give me a couple other locations that you'd want to focus on.
Pooler.
Okay, Pooler.
Yep. I'm trying to think of like where the good areas are as well, right? So right customers. Tybee Island.
How do I spell that?
Tybee.
Island.
Yep.
Perfect. So we'll just use just as a case study, or as kind of a red map. So basically, you would then build out a location page for Savannah, Georgia, because all of these pages are going to be built out for Richmond Hill. So basically, when you're doing like top rated pressure washing company Richmond Hill, this would be something along the lines of concrete cleaning in Richmond Hill, concrete cleaning company in Richmond Hill, Georgia, for example. But then when you build out this location page for Savannah, you're going to talk about all of these services for Savannah on one page.
Okay.
No different than you had this parent page literally right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you're going to do is you're eventually going to go and you're going to take these locations. And this is the hidden thing where like people win and they win big, is you're going to go build out a siding cleaning page in Savannah. And then you're going to go build out a Pooler page in siding cleaning in Pooler. And then the same thing goes on and on and on. And you could do this for every single service. You could do this for residential versus commercial. So if you're like, wow, I really want to focus on doing commercial AOA, like those nice communities type of stuff, you could even add a commercial page to this. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Awesome. And so this is where people want to go cheap. They want to just focus on like, oh, I want to have this pretty website, or I want to do all the ads. Great. But if you want simplicity from a standpoint of how Google reads it, Google reads like a third grader. And so many people want to try to talk to Google as if they're, a medical doctor. Any questions on that?
Not right now. Maybe once it marinates a little bit.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts on kind of everything we're talking about here?
I mean, it's all right in line with, what I'm realizing I should be doing. So, it's real popular for the short game winners, right? Mm-hmm. They want, a lot of guys, you want to dump money into Facebook ads and Google ads and this type of stuff. And I don't know that stuff either, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do the things that I know I can manage myself and do a good enough job to start getting traction and then have longevity for the long game, right? Because I didn't start the business to just, do it for 2 years, 3 years or whatever. Like this is a long game. We have a big business plan set, but I think these are the things that help with the longevity, right? The long-term, wins for the company where, you create a presence on Google in conjunction with, having a really good presence for your brand and your company inside of your community. Like, I think for a while, I really thought there was like one dart that I was going to throw to the dartboard and win the game.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like okay, I'm gonna hit the bullseye with Facebook ads, and that's all I got to do. Or I'm gonna, you know, post once a day on my personal Facebook page about my business, and that's gonna win. Well, I'm realizing that it's a little bit from this, a little bit from this, you know, and as those things start to compound on top of each other, right, we have more of what we're looking for. And this is one of the things that I know I've been missing that is just going to help continue to, you know, fill us up with leads.
Love it. So let's go take a look at the competition on that first page of Google, right?
Oh, I know them all too personally.
Yeah.
And I watch them, and I'm like, I was like number 39 on the list.
So that's why, and we'll take a look at this. That's why you don't want to send that mixed signal of basically saying, hey, I want to go to Savannah. Well, if you're not in your backyard dominating, you're never going to rank in Savannah, right? So you got to basically rank in your backyard first. So we have obviously Google guaranteed local service ads up here. Sometimes you'll see Google ads if you're doing your own search at home. You're then taking a look at these organic Google business profiles. And so you'll see basically I'm taking a look at, okay, how many reviews do they have? Are they all 5 stars? You got some pretty stiff competition over here with 344, 140, 30, and 80. Yeah. And so I'm taking a look at like, okay, is there areas of opportunity? There's always areas of opportunity unless somebody literally is, unless you have 3 competitors that are all SEO people that are running these campaigns, which very rarely you even have one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm taking a look at. So when I'm seeing this, so I see Grim Reaper exterior cleaning, and a lot of people are like, well, does the website and the Google business profile play hand in hand? Yes, absolutely. Will Google reviews trump all of this stuff? 100%. If somebody has 344 5-star reviews, their website doesn't have to be to the caliber that your website is with 100 reviews or 50. That's just how the game is. But what I see and what I'm looking for, I have these companies right here. Are all of them dominating on this first page of Google? Actually, only one of them's on the first page of Google. That means there's a massive amount of opportunity to tackle what we just talked about here, to making sure now you're probably not going to be able to do it with the Wix website, but if you get a WordPress website that has all of this stuff in there, or you begin to build those things, this is telling me right here that there's the opportunity. Because anytime I see Facebook have the #1 organic result in an area, that tells me that the rest of the SEO, while albeit probably not terrible, not the best.
Yeah. So if I see of what these guys get is organic.
Exactly.
It's a very community-based area, right?
Yep.
So, you know, that's it. I'm late to the game with the Facebook. So, you know, they really create a lot of momentum in the community, and it's just been word of mouth for a lot of the people in my area.
Yep, absolutely. So I take a look, I see Facebook as a result, I see Yelp as a result. Obviously, we're throwing them out. When I take a look, okay, what are the titles of my top competitors? We see pressure washing, then we see Richmond Hill, then we see the name of their company. So my recommendation is you do pressure washing, take this thing out, just do pressure washing Richmond Hill, because you're telling and GA, and you're telling Google, hey, I just want to go in, I want to attack this, and then the name of your company. This company has Richmond Hill pressure washing, and then they spelled power wash wrong, or maybe that's the name of their company. I have no idea. Then we have pressure washing in Richmond Hill. So you see success leaves clues, right? All of these people have something very similar, but with their own brand and their own twist on it.
So what we're seeing, those links.
Yep.
Where is that being pulled from? Is that the H1?
Or no, yeah. This is the title. So like for you, it would be right now. It would be Clean SoftWash pressure washing Savannah.
Okay, and where is that generated from? Like where?
The meta title on the back end of the first page of your website.
Okay. That's totally foreign to me.
So we can finish this up, and you can and I can show you exactly where and to go and change that and how to get that fixed. But if I take a look, for example, and I look at Grim Reapers, who they are one of the top, they are the top one. If you look at their SEO, right, like theirs is it hasn't been touched since the website was built, but their Google reviews and their GBP is driving that other thing. Again, plenty of area of opportunity here. Now, if they had everything that other website had here on the first page of Google, I'd tell you, oh, wow, they have this market unlocked, but that's the area of opportunity. And so, again, I didn't want to like look at your competition before I recommended a roadmap. I say, okay, what do they have? They have everything we kind of just talked about for the most part, and they also have these areas served. Right. So this tells me, oh my gosh, you put this plan, you run that plan, and you're going to be pretty successful doing that. And again, this company has individual services. They have residential versus commercial. They have these service areas for all these different little areas. And then this company just has a one-page site. I think it might be on Wix or Squarespace or something along those lines. So any questions on any of that?
Nope, not right now.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at the Google Business Profile. So we got 31 reviews, 5 stars, awesome. Some tips and some tricks here. It looks like you're starting to post organically on the Google Business Update part.
I picked that up 2 weeks ago from the video that you posted.
Awesome. Awesome. So this is going to be super, super helpful, and you're already taking action and doing a lot of this stuff. I was actually just doing kind of a meeting with our auto glass company. So I don't know. I think you probably know, you've watched my stuff, but for those of you that don't know, I literally started an auto glass company back in 2021 off a simple website that I built. And we've always known, like we've always been pretty good from an SEO organic perspective. But in April of this year, we started posting every single day on our Google Business Profile. And what we did as well is we incorporated this AI SEO tool to help us do SEO quicker and faster and stronger than we've ever been able to do before. And so with one of those things is you take a look at kind of like the before and afters of these things. So you run that play. If you ever did incorporate a bigger SEO strategy, like that's exactly what I teach people to do based on how I spend my own money and my own time and energy in our own companies. But you'll see in April of this year, we were ranking for 231 keywords. We had 1,395 organic traffic visitors into the website. And so just in the last 6 months, we've now got 1,500 keywords that we're ranking for. So we basically 7x that. Our organic traffic is up over 4,000. And the value of this traffic, this is why SEO is absolutely amazing. The value of this traffic is $18,000 a month.
That's crazy.
So if I wanted to pay Google every single month for what it costs us, and this is not even including our Google Business Profile, just from SEO, just from website, just from implementing those things that I was just telling you, and obviously leveraging our skill set, we have that. There's 55 keywords that we are currently literally ranking number 1 for. If this thing loads, I'll be able to show it. But that's the value of doing this stuff correctly. Again, it's not as quick or as fast or as sexy as running Facebook ads or doing Google, like things that I teach people and run for people and do all that stuff. But this is the area of opportunity. If you're talking about, I really want to go scale this thing to the moon, and I want to have a predictable way that I'm getting in leads, and I don't want it to cost $18,000 a month.
Right.
That's how you do this.
Yeah, I mean, reliability of the lead flow and sustainability for the business model for me is going to be important.
Huge. Absolutely huge. Yeah. So you look at this in like any which way you want to type in some keyword with volume in and around the St. Louis area. Like we get vehicle glass replacement near me. We get 171 visitors on average per month just from that one keyword into the website. And I mean, 55 different keywords where we're literally ranking number 1.
That's powerful.
It's huge, man. So yeah, any other questions? I know I just threw a lot of people watching, a lot of questions our way, but what can I answer for you, man?
I mean, personally, there's just so much for a person who doesn't know this stuff, right? It's going to take me some time to digest it. and kind of reflect back on it to probably have any questions of value that would also serve the people who are watching this that may have more familiarity with, SEO and building websites than I do. I'm a complete noob, but I'm willing to learn and look ridiculous and embarrass myself, so I can learn something because that's important to me. And I'm willing to, like I told you, I'm willing to take the jump shot and, even if I hit the backboard, I'm getting close to the basket, right?
Yeah. No, I love it, man. It's I love your energy. I love kind of like your willingness to say, hey, I don't know this, but I want to start to know this. Like, again, like we literally launched that Christmas light installation site, and within 4 weeks, I'm already on the first page of Google. It never happened. It doesn't. I shouldn't say never. It doesn't always happen that way. But like when you do these things correctly, so I always refer to it as, let's take pressure washing for example. You've probably shown up on job sites where somebody else already did previous work and they cut a corner, right?
Yeah,
or you know that, right? This is the exact same aspect, whether it's somebody that's building a roof, whether it's pressure washing, whether my garage door is getting fixed and an expert shows up and says, hey, they cut a corner here, they cut a corner there, they cut a corner in all of these different directions. And I see that I could do that better. This is the exact same thing. This is literally the exact same thing. And so that's the area of opportunity with all this stuff. We did have a question come in. So Matt Smith, talk about the value of backlinks on your website, linking to other sites related to the service. What's the best practice to implement if we're worthwhile? Matt, that is a great question. And I I typically haven't gone a ton into backlinks on these live audits and videos because it is a dark rabbit hole that we could go down for literally ages. But Chris, do you know what backlinks are? Are you familiar with them?
I am familiar with them. Do I have them? No. I understand it's a way to utilize other people's websites to either, you could post a blog on that or an article on somebody else's website. It gives a link to your website, so it helps give more authority to your website. That's
pretty much spot on. Yeah. So there's a variety of different ways in which backlinks are done. So I'll kind of like start at the top, right? So like in the way in which most people are accustomed to is, hey, I will just go buy a bunch of backlinks. A lot of like marketing agencies will literally just go buy a bunch of links from India or some other country, and they will literally have backlinks showing up and saying, hey, we're going and getting backlinks. Because Google's algorithm used to just be like, hey, just go get some links. And as long as the alt text or the anchor text on there, has anything to do with the keywords you're trying to rank for, you used to be able to do what was referred to as black hat SEO and work your way around there. Well, now Google has gotten really, really smart. And what I tell people all the time is think about your chamber of commerce locally. If you were a member of your chamber of commerce, and they had a page on their website or a directory that had your business information that linked from their site back to yours, that's technically a backlink. And that's authoritative because usually the Chamber of Commerce has an authoritative website. They're also local to your area, so there's some sort of relevancy. Now, what would be even better is if you had a pressure washing specific authority website, even on a national level, that was literally talking about pressure washing stuff, or a directory or something like that you got a backlink from that to your site. Very, very valuable. One of the strategies that I typically recommend to kind of answer Matt's question is if you refer a bunch of business back and forth to other contractors, maybe landscapers, roofers, HVAC companies, whoever you're doing business with, go and basically build out an opportunity to get backlinks to and from their site. Now, if you have a one-page website, you're not going to be able to necessarily do that because you don't want to just be having your homepage turn into a big promo of other people's stuff. But if you go and you find an HVAC company that you get along with really well, and they have a very, very authoritative website, they basically write an article on the back of your site or link up on the back of their site to yours that says, hey, literally Chris and his company is the best power washing company, pressure washing company in Richmond Hill, Georgia. It's local and it's industry specific. In theory, it's home service contracting. And so that's going to drive really, really quality stuff. But where Google is moving towards is that quality over quantity. So I wouldn't go out and just like, hey, here's $500. Let's just go buy a bunch of backlinks, because that can go wrong super, super quickly. So I'm always looking for areas of opportunity to do it in a controlled environment, just versus saying like, hey, I need all the stuff. That Christmas light installation site that's been out for 4 weeks, that's already, made us a couple $1,000 and generating leads every single week. No backlinks. It's the content. It's doing the right stuff first. And then if we need to do backlinks in the future, great.
So can I ask a little deeper question on that?
Yeah.
So if I get a backlink on, somebody's website that I work with quite a bit, and let's say they're ranked number 1, if for some reason, they go down to number 10 or whatever, does that affect the amount of impact that backlink has?
So that's a great question. It's kind of Matt's questions right here. So this is best with other authority strong sites. Yes, absolutely. So if you think about it, right, in that particular instance, it's not going to have a dramatic effect on yours, because your page, like, likely if they were number 1 and something happened to their stuff, just they stopped doing SEO or whatever it is, the fact that they were probably number 1 would mean probably you're like the 50, 60, 70, 80th page on their website. There's low authority to that specific page, but their URL for their homepage is so authoritative.
Okay.
That's what's driving your stuff linking out and linking into theirs.
All right. I didn't see his comment before I said what I said, but it's nice to see that somebody else is on the same page as me.
Yeah. That's a great question. Awesome, man. Well, any other questions? Anything else that you can think of? Was this helpful?
It is. Like I said, it's a lot, right? Because I don't know. A lot of the verbiage is still foreign to me. How to implement it is still foreign to me. So I have a lot of self-educating to do.
Yeah.
Which I'm perfectly fine with, is just finding the time to be able to do it. It's going to be the struggle. Yeah. But so I understand Google business profile is important. I'm working to get the reviews in, the 5-star reviews. Obviously, I have a lead issue, which is why my reviews aren't as many as they could be.
Yeah.
So, I understand that, I have to continue to work on that and get as many as I can. I'm working more on, ensuring that the ones that I get are really well, put into Google by the customers. A few of them have put pictures in there, which I realized now is a much bigger deal than I thought it was.
Yeah.
But, I saw a video that you posted about 6 or 7 hours ago about the Christmas light business stuff, but you made a comment regarding when we as business owners go into our Google My Business and we post photos.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going in and geotagging my photos to try and isolate certain areas inside of our community, try and drive more business, because I heard that's kind of a way you can cracking down on that, as far as the business owner or the person who can put those pictures in there, they're kind of wiping the data off of it. But if a customer submits the photo, it doesn't wipe out the data.
That's correct. Yeah. So like, you used to be able to literally go geotag, hey, it was at this address, at this location, and all these different things, and Google would take it as if it were gospel. But over about the last 2 years or so, and there's been conflicting reports. Some people say it still works. I've tested it out. I've seen it. I've seen results happen when I've done it, but I've also seen results happen when I haven't. I haven't seen results happen when I've done it as well. So I don't think, like, I'm fairly certain now that it's just not worth the time and energy that goes and does it, because when you're uploading it to your own thing, Google is basically stripping the data from the location of it. But no differently than, like, you couldn't go give yourself 10 Google reviews right now from the same, Google business or Google Gmail profile. They are under the assumption, which is usually true, that no customer is going to go to the degree of geotagging a photo in order to leave a Google review, right? So what they're doing is, for example, somebody takes a picture, right, and they say, hey, Chris and his team just did this. They go to their office. They're on vacation, right, or wherever. They still post that review. Whenever they post the review, it's going to pull that information from where it's at. Okay. So very, very valuable in having them do that.
is that only good if they take the picture? Because again, I'm a tech dummy. So if I take a picture, it's set to geotag photos on my phone. If that picture is sent to a customer for them to use in a Google review, does it still maintain it? Do you know?
Yes. So as long if you send, so like you take the photo and say, hey, can you post this with? Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to know if I got to stalk my customers and start taking pictures.
I mean, like, no. If you take it and go, you should be good to go.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, cool, man. Well, this will be uploaded. We'll also upload it to YouTube as well, probably next week or so, but you'll have access to it. I sent you already the content roadmap. I sent that over to your email. If there's any questions, anything that you need from me, man, just let me know. But I really appreciate your time. This is awesome.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Adam.
Yeah, we'll talk soon, man. Keep crushing it.
All right, buddy. Thanks, man. You too. Bye.